Good evening and welcome to the June 21st, 2016 business meeting of the Council of the Borough of Ringwood. This meeting is being broadcast live and will be replayed on Channel 77 throughout the week. Kelly, statement of compliance, please.
Adequate notice of this business meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Law, PL 1975, Chapter 231, setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this business meeting by Consent Agenda Resolution 2016-13, adopted January 5, 2016. Through a legal notice published in the Suburban Trends issue of January 10, 2016, and through notices emailed to the following named newspapers and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on January 6, 2016, the Suburban Trends, the Bergen Record, and WGHT. At this time, please turn off all electronic devices during the meeting.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Here.
Councilmembers Anderson.
Here.
Davison.
Here.
Marsala.
Here now.
Noonan.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
Also present, Borough Manager, Director, Department of Public Works, Scott Heck, Deputy Borough Manager, Borough Clerk, Kelly Hallowitz, and Borough Attorney, Richard J. Kleeman. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under the first order of business, we have some life-saving awards to members of our police department. Chief Walker, would you please do the honors?
Thank you, Mayor. There's very few rewarding moments in life for a police officer than during his career than saving a life. We're fortunate that our officers excelled one morning, and ended up saving a life through their actions. I'll just read a little brief synopsis of what transpired. On May 14th, 2016, at approximately 2 a.m., our officers, Patrolman Wunk, Patrolman Ferraro, and Sergeant Dupree responded to a scene on Bear Mountain Road for an unresponsive male. Upon arrival, they determined that Mr. Peter Sumser was unresponsive in his bed with no pulse, and he wasn't breathing. Their actions immediately started CPR, administered oxygen, and used our defibrillator on 2 occasions, which resulted in him surviving. So it's my opportunity, my honor, to recognize these officers. Mr. Sumster is here. I would like him to come up with and join me while I present the award to the officers. First, we have Sergeant Christopher Dupree. Patrolman Matthew Ferraro. Last but not least, one of our new officers, who just hired in February, Patrolman Brian Wunk. I believe Mr. Sumser wants to say a few words. Thank you very much.
I don't know what there is to say other than that I'm standing here alive and well, and even though it was unexpected, very few people survive something like I went through, not knowingly. I don't remember anything of it, you know. But if it wasn't for my wife and these 3 officers, I wouldn't be standing here. When she woke up was because I was thrashing around, I guess. And then I was dead for all the world. She started CPR, called 911. It was to her like these police guys were standing outside the door because she opened the door and they came in. And there they were, lucky enough to have him, and lucky enough that they knew how to operate their equipment. they took me. The ambulance took me to the hospital, and I think 4 weeks later I was home. It's 2 weeks now that I'm home, and I'm alive and well. And I mean, you can't thank somebody for your life. You can attempt it, and believe you me, I am very grateful. So is my wife. She didn't want to be alone for nothing. So she saw you coming, guys, and it was like God Almighty Himself. So, I found out today from the doctor that this kind of thing can happen. You don't have to be 83 years old. It can happen anytime.
Right.
It's like a dead stop of the heart. And if it wasn't for the equipment that these guys brought along, I wouldn't be here. Strangely enough, I don't remember anything of it. And I mean, 2 weeks are totally missing in my life. I remember before and I remember after. So, to make it short, these guys are heroes in my book. I mean, it's not easy to approach an unconscious man and do what they told you sometime, somewhere along the line, what to do, and they did it to perfection, obviously. They said you have about 10 minutes of, if you can get the brain, if you can get blood to the brain again in 10 minutes, you have a chance. In the hospital, they cool you down to they almost freeze you. They put you out, and they freeze you to not freeze you, but they get you down to 91 degrees, and they let you be like this, and then for another day they warm you up slowly, which is good for the brain, they say. I think it was good for my brain. I remember a lot of things before and after. So thank you guys. You couldn't have done better. And I'll never forget that. Neither will Lucy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sumser, and it's good to see you, and it's good to see our officers that are that diligent and that well trained and have the presence of mind to be able to respond to a situation such as this, and actually give you another couple weeks, give you another however long you may have. God bless you. God bless you. Hopefully you'll remember it all, I'm sure. But thank you, officers, very very much. Even when you're playing Paul Bunyan on the side of a highway in the middle of the night. Our officers are always there for all of our residents, so thank you very much, gentlemen. Do you want to take a 2-minute, take a 5-minute recess? Take 5 minutes.
Shut the mics. Ready, Trace? Is she there?
Okay, and we're back. Next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. Kelly, please.
Can you just hold one
Go
second?
ahead.
We're working
We're
on another
good.
quarter.
We'll do that again next
No,
door.
we
Next
got,
item
no, I
on our
got it,
agenda
I got it.
is-
No, we're ready.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yep, sorry. Motion to approve the May 3rd, 2016 business meeting. All were present.
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Motion to approve the May 17th, 2016 business meeting. Councilwoman Anderson was absent.
So
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Abstain.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That leads us into the general public portion. At this time, anyone from the public wishes to speak, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to do so. State your name and address for the record.
Councilman Spear?
Yes,
Can I just make a quick comment before we
Yes, sir.
start? I just want to recognize we have various scouts here. I believe they're all Troop 76. In attendance, they're starting on their Trail to Eagle. Hopefully, they've brought notepads with them. And part of getting the Citizenship for Community Award is attending a public council meeting and taking notes, and then when they get to summer camp, they'll have to be able to explain or go through what they heard and stuff like that. So we welcome Troop 76.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any member of the public wishing to speak on any subject not on the agenda?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you got to turn it, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I can do that. Lisa Chang, 376 Skyline Lakes Drive, Ringwood. I'm just here now to, again, address the Superfund issue, to say, I guess, thank you for taking the temporary measure of suspending the request for the permits that are necessary to build the recycling center, and that I hope that that temporary measure leads to a more permanent one that we are, more interested in seeing ultimately. So thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi. Venkatal, 24 High Point Lane. Just have a couple of questions. Mayor, you've been talking about the cost to the taxpayer for removal of household waste at SR6. How much was that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
The taxpayers paid for it?
The borough was responsible to remove it.
Uh-huh. Did they?
Yes,
They did.
yes.
They removed all the household waste at SR6?
What are you getting at? Here's what happened. There was,
Okay, yeah.
SR6 is Sludge Hill.
Exactly.
Along Sludge Hill, there was sludge, there was other such stuff that was dumped.
Yep, I remember. I was around at the
Company
time.
removed the sludge.
Yep.
Everything else was left in a pile, and they told the borough to remove it.
Yep.
The borough's position at the time was, we shouldn't have to remove this. This is tainted material that's been intermingled with the sludge. We shouldn't
Right.
have to remove this.
Right.
While that fight was going on, the DEP came in and said, Ringwood, you're operating an illegal dump by keeping that material there, and you have to take it out or we're going to fine you.
Mm-hmm.
So the borough had to remove it.
Well, I didn't remember it that way, so I actually talked to Ken Petrone from the NJDEP, and he said the DEP removed it, because I do remember that the borough refused, and the DEP did remove it. The borough did not pay for it, and it
Ken
cost...
Petrone is wrong.
He is?
Yes.
Okay, well, you can give me proof, okay? I have my documents here.
I was there.
I was there, too.
No, the borough removed it.
So, Scott,
It's not a back and forth.
that's fine. You can just contradict me and show us the proof. And because I did specifically email Ken to find out, because I remembered it a different way. And I think I'd spoken to you about that through the time that you began to say that at all the meetings, that the EPA forced the borough to remove the household waste, it was separated, and blah, 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 blah. And I just didn't remember it. But anyway, what Ken Petrone of the NJDEP did say is the borough refused to move it, although you did remove tires and some scrap. And so anyway, I don't know if you still owe the DEP the money, $650,000, or if you paid them. As of my email with him, which was May 2nd, it was still outstanding. So that's just my question. So
Okay.
if you can prove otherwise, terrific.
You know what, I don't feel the need to prove otherwise. I think that kind of goes to my point, is that that if you get involved in what's going on at O'Connor, Ford will remove the sludge. What remains is going to be the Borough of Ringwood's responsibility.
But the borough didn't
And
do
that's
it.
the responsibility I don't want to put onto the borough taxpayer.
But the problem with your argument is that the borough didn't remove it because the borough said it was probably tainted, which makes absolute sense.
Okay,
It
but
probably
then
was.
Where'd you get that $650,000?
From Ken.
The borough owes somebody $650,000?
Well, he didn't say you owed them. He did not say.
Okay.
But he said the borough never paid for it. The DEP did.
Am I to go forward on faith that the DEP will come and pick up whatever Ford doesn't take out of O'Connor?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
I know,
saying
but
that
I
your
mean, that's
argument is a
logical
good one,
extension.
that any household waste that is separated at any of these areas in Upper Ringwood, O'Connor, it's going to be tainted, because even if there's household waste there and there's 106,400 tons of toxic soil, which the EPA said there is, then you have a good argument, you as the borough, to say, you know, to the EPA and to Ford, I don't think the borough should be removing soil that could possibly contain household waste, but also contain toxic material. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
Because,
that argument didn't seem to work back for SR6, but, you know,
Well,
yeah, I appreciate you, I appreciate
you
the
know,
point.
I mean, maybe it didn't, or maybe it did, because the borough didn't pay for it. So anyway, so my second question is, I've been trying to figure out, or find out, via Oprah, which is very difficult.
It's not actually difficult.
It's not actually.
You have to ask for a
The
specific
specific, which is
record.
hard. Yeah, which is hard and things. But anyway, according, you know, about St. George's Pit, which I read about the whole investigation and everything at the library yesterday, because Excel has a whole folder about what they did there. So what I'm understanding is that it was an investigation, right? And not a remedial action. Like, in other words, they were
I think that-
investigating to find out whether or not, probably whether there was sludge there.
Yeah, that sounds right to
And
me.
they didn't find any,
Yeah. I think-
is what I read.
Or, I don't know if they didn't find any, or there was no further action necessary.
Right. So everything is going to just stay in, at the St. George's Pit the way it is, and there's not going to be any remedial action there.
I think that was the end of, that was what the report, and that was the
Right.
EPA's position
Right,
there.
yeah. Okay, that was just my question. But I was a little bit concerned when I was reading the report yesterday, because Excel is saying that there was no need to investigate the water, the drill or do any water testing below St. George's Pit, because the water that was coming into the trenches had no film, it didn't smell, had no odor, and it just seemed like it was clean. So that didn't seem like a scientific reason to not do any test borings to see what was going on, possibly in the water table underneath St. George's. That was just my only concern when I was reading it.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure EPA was there and witnessed any test pits that go on. And generally, when they do these type of investigations in a Superfund site or in any industrial site, they'll have like a photoionization detector, a PID. They'll be able to tell if there's even minute traces of any kind of off-gassing hydrocarbons, a benzene would show up real quick, methane, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there was some
so
benzene
they
there.
didn't find it,
There was benzene there,
Yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
in one of the samples. So
Okay.
there was. And it was above the allotted limits, you know. Not real high, but not real low.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if Mr. Klimak remembers, But I'm also trying to figure out why the insurance carriers denied the EPA response costs in 1992 of $144,000, I believe it was.
1992?
Yeah.
I don't recall why they denied. There was only one carrier that the borough had uncovered at that time.
That was Selective, correct?
I don't recall that either.
I think it was, because I've been reading about it, yeah.
I don't remember.
So could the public find out why? Because that's another argument that Wanda Chin and you, the mayor, and Mr. Heck are using to say that the borough is going to be responsible for 18% of the costs of the cleanup of the Superfund site. So I guess it would be important for the public to know why there was a denial at that time by Selective. So that's another question. Rather than keep going through the Oprah and trying to figure out what was said and what was this, I think it would be easier for you guys to figure it out and let the public know. So anyway, Ms. Chin, Mr. Heck, and the mayor keep telling the public what they cannot do to protect human health because of their fear of Ford. My question is, what can you do to get Ford to pay for the cleanup? It doesn't seem as if the professionals that you've hired are up to the task of fighting Ford. One mistake this council made, in my opinion, is in dealing with the Superfund issue, was your decision to replace Joseph Mariziti. He's one of the top environmental attorneys in New Jersey, and he also, his partner is an expert in dealing with insurance. And he was, at the time, the borough attorney for 4 years when the Superfund site was heating up again. And he, at the time, was laying out a strong strategy to fight Ford. And as he said at his last council meeting in 2007, there is absolutely, I'm paraphrasing, there is absolutely no evidence that the borough dumped any toxic material in Ringwood. Although Ford is trying to tell you you did, but you did not. And the only reason Ringwood is on the Superfund list is because of Ford. And I actually heard Mr. Heck channeling Mr. Mariziti at the last meeting. I think the borough should post all correspondence that you guys have had with the EPA, with Ford, Excel, and with Ms. Chin and her office. These are documents the public has a right to see and as taxpayers must see. We have been kept in the dark for 8 years concerning the biggest issue facing Ringwood. And I remind you that some of the same people sitting on the dais agreed to the delisting in 1994, knowing there was visible sludge at the site. You tried to sweep it under the rug then to spare the town the stigma, and it really came back to bite us big time. And I, for one, cannot believe you're doing the same thing in 2016, only now you're sweeping it under a cap. I wish you had more concern for protecting human health and our water, and also showed an understanding of Ringwood's special status as 100% in the Highlands Preservation Area. Ringwood is an environmental gem, and you should want to keep it that way. Get Ford's poison out once and for all. Thank you. Good evening.
Anyone else like to address the council?
Ron Pagano, I own the land, 16 acres to the north of Stop and Shop. Is this on?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all,
You might have to pick it up closer to you, your mouth.
just changing the subject, Ford can afford this to fix the place up. That stock's been doing great. I don't understand that one a mile for years. Never understood what happened. I know what happened, but I know it didn't happen. But getting back to my little parcel here, as Mr. Heck knows and Mr. Klimak knows, I've been trying to do something here for like 10 years, develop a nice housing project that has housing for stock that's not in Ringwood. For people who want maintenance-free living and all that stuff, which isn't provided for. But I was just recently seeing an email, which I think Mr. Klemak got, and I know Mr. Heck probably got from Mr. Dunn, basically asking me to demonstrate, can I develop on my property? I mean, I've shown that in other plans. I mean, I've revised my plans, let's say, almost a half a dozen times with all my reports. But, and I've looked into this with my engineer, whether it be Tibor Conklin or Jeff Hauser over at Hauser Engineering here in Ringwood. And we actually met with Highlands too. And as we know, and I don't know if anyone else knows, there is a way to develop my property in this preservation area, which is using the 70% rule. And Mr. Spears probably knows it best, because I think you have an engineering background, right?
Yes.
So you probably know a lot more than most. And as you know, I went even before the Board of Adjustment. They didn't even want to hear it, even to go forward with an application, because they didn't understand it sounds like. But now that we understand it better, I'm trying to see, based on this email, that if I can demonstrate this, can we work together with demonstrating? Because when I met with Mr. Heck a few weeks ago, he kind of mentioned, like, let's try to get this out of so-called litigation and into more of a positive way. And in doing that, I'm trying to see if this is an avenue, or am I just reading this wrong, where he's asking me to demonstrate, which my engineers will do. I think Mr. Heck mentioned at the meeting and other times that you might have, it sounded like you started work along the 70% rule in the area of the district there. Did you start any engineering work there?
Mr. Heck, excuse me. Mr. Pagano, the borough's in litigation with you. You have legal counsel. You know we can't discuss this matter publicly with you. You know that.
I don't know that. This is a simple thing.
I'm advising you. There's nothing we can say. You're represented by counsel. I'm not going to be in a forum where I speak to you or any borough official speaks to you without your lawyer present. And the letter you're talking to was sent in conjunction with the litigation. This is between attorneys.
But it imposes that,
there's
can
no-
you want
we
me
cannot-
to build,
we cannot respond,
to
sir.
demonstrate?
Sir, we cannot respond to anything you say. You're represented by counsel. You're in litigation with us. I'm sorry. That's the ethical rule. We're bound by that.
Can you answer me one question? Did you have your conference call with Ms. Calphone?
I can't answer anything concerning the litigation.
So in other words, this is a typical delay.
Well, come on, Mr. Pagano.
I've been doing this for 10 years. Come on.
Oh, come on.
We all trying to work forward in a positive way. And of course, you always have an attorney or two, and maybe on my side too, that wants to go backwards. But my guy's a pro. He knows all this stuff. This is inevitable. Let's try to do it the easy way instead of the hard way. And it gets ratables faster to the borough. You're like, on your end, it's 50, 60,000 a year, a month that I'm giving to the table too. So it's not like I'm a schmo here. I was always trying to do the right thing, and I've revised my plan a few times, closer to a half a dozen times.
Mr. Pagano, you know we can't discuss this with you. Why are you
I know
going
you
for
can't
this?
comment, but I want to be heard because I think I'm entitled to just be heard.
Go ahead.
So I guess Mr. Heck isn't going to comment, or no one else is going to comment. So I just
This
want to
isn't
know.
any disrespect of you. You have counsel. We deal with your counsel. That's how it's done when you enter into
And they've been
the-
reaching out to you guys, and nothing's happening.
What's that?
And he's been reaching out to you guys, and nothing's happened since, I think, the end of April, to either have another meeting or a conference call. So what's that tell you? I got to come over here. Lucky I don't live too far away. It makes it easier. So, good night.
Well, it's always nice to see you, but we can't discuss it with you. Sorry.
Well, try to do something positive for the borough instead of yourselves.
This is a Mount Pleasant evening today.
Anybody else would like to address the council?
I've been suggesting that there should be recreation in this town of Ringwood, so a couple swimming pools, so people could have recreation like arts and crafts and gymnastics, and a computer center, and then one of the new school areas, so the kids can have computer lessons and all.
Thanks, Mark.
Can't complain about that, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Seeing no one, I'll make a motion to close public portion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
There being no old business, next order of business is new business, introductions of ordinances. Counselor?
Yes. A minute, please, Mr. Okay, this is ordinance 2016-05. May I have the motion to read by title, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison? Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Bond ordinance appropriating $1,625,000 and authorizing the issuance of $1,547,000 of bonds or notes of the borough for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Ringwood in the county of Passaic, state of New Jersey. I'll recite the resolution, and you can take action on it. Resolve that ordinance number 2016-05 is read by title. The meeting is hereby introduced with second reading on Tuesday, July 19, 2016, at 8 p.m. at the Violet Boulevard Municipal Annex. The Borough Clerk is directed to publish a copy of the said ordinance in the official newspaper of the municipality.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Heck, would you like to fill us in on?
Sure.
It's hard to hear what they're talking.
Okay.
It's hard for me to hear, to write stuff down.
Okay, so should we bring that closer?
No,
I think
no,
that-
I think it's the public,
noise.
the noise from the public.
Okay, folks, if you could, please, we're having hard times hearing up here. Yeah, Mr. Heck, if you would.
Yes, this is items that we've talked about during the budget meetings throughout the year. We want to take advantage of the lower oil prices and pave a little bit more streets than we normally do. The bond ordinance that's before you includes the down payment money that's raised in cash and contained within the budget. The roads that we're talking about for the entire length would be Cheshire Lane, Fountain Drive, portions of McGee Road to finish that road up, Meadowview Terrace, and Northgate Park in the entire length, and a portion of Stonetown Road. Many of the other towns are doing the exact same thing. While the oil prices are low, we can get more asphalt for the dollar. So we're doing more roads, and this is approximately double what we normally do in a course of a year, so that we can get more of the roads paved. As you know, that the last couple of winters, the 5 or 6 to be exact, the winters have been rather damaging to our roads. We've been doing a lot of drainage improvements to try and extend the life of our roads. Unfortunately, some of these roads just need to be repaired. You know, some of these roads were done in the 70s. Some of them are approaching 40 years old. We need to put a surface on top of them. And along with that, we're also looking at, we're out of compliance with the rules and regulations and the general guidelines for a police department. We've looked at renovating our existing police department to come into conformance so that we can have things like a cell and suitable area. Right now, we have secretaries in and around an area where we have prisoners at times. It's really unfortunate that this is the area that we have. So we're looking at doing some architectural renderings to put just a police section in the back in the grass behind Borough Hall. The architects believe it'd be cheaper to renovate, to build a freestanding structure for the police department rather than renovate the building that we have. So that's what we're looking at now. I mean, we've long since outgrown the usefulness of that portion. Part of the dispatch is on an old porch, so the structural integrity of some of these things with modernization is problematic. So that's contained in here, the design project. We also have some interior work here that we're continuing to do. Outside, we had the soffits that were rotting off, the lights that were falling off the building, so we had to do some renovations outside. We want a complete inside. We're going to be here for a long time. We're not building any new building to move Borough Hall into, so we want to keep what we have up to date, so that in order to do that, unfortunately, we have to occasionally modernize. Also, we're looking for one larger dump truck for DPW to handle the salting operations. The one that we have is approximately 30 years old. That's getting replaced, and that's the sum and total of this ordinance.
Any discussion from the council? Okay, we're going to have roll call.
Mayor Spear?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes, we also have the police communications.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, $300,000. The police communication is something that needs to be done as well. That's contained within the police budget as well. But our communication is quite old. There's areas of town that we have trouble getting communication in. Some of the buttons and some of the equipment is not replaceable. We can't get parts for it any longer. So contained within this $1.6 million bond is approximately $300,000 for new communication for the whole borough. So.
Okay. Continue with the roll call.
Council members Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you. Next order of business is resolutions. Mr. Heck.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2016-160, whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified that funds are available for the payment of the current bill list in the amount of $445,391.09, supplemental payments in the amount of $3,550,705.07, merchant services fees in the amount of $63.75, Slapoa Dam Assessment Fund in the amount of $43,178.61, to be listed to the following named accounts for a total of $4,039,338.52, of which $3,114,000 is paid to the county.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Council members Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
For all of you Boy Scouts in the back, I usually give you an explanation of what I'm doing when I'm going through this so that you have some idea. Once a month, we have a bill list of every bill that we pay throughout the month. There's an accounting process. The bill gets encumbered. The money, then we receive the item, we sign off on the item, it goes onto a bill list. No checks can go out until the council approves the bill list. And the $4 million that we just talked about was all the bills throughout the course of the month, payrolls, payroll transfers, as well as like we collect the money for the schools, like and the county taxes. So this month, the $3 million was a portion of the county taxes, and that we collect, and it's on this bill list, and it goes to them. So that there's transparency, you can track those funding all the way through.
You guys take the notebook off the back counter, you can follow along. All the items here are in there. You're free to look at.
They all have packets.
Oh, they do?
I think there are a few more showed up, though, that I wasn't expecting, so I'll have to make you some new packets, some additional packets.
Mayor, I'm going to yield to Ms. Holowitz for the liquor licenses.
Sure.
Unless you just want me to read the resolutions, do you have to go over them?
Dick and I usually just do. Go ahead.
Kelly, before you approve them,
Yeah.
were the tax clearance waiver letters received on all of them?
Yes, all of them.
Were there any complaints
No complaints.
and no police objections?
No police objections.
To any of them?
To any of them.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you're going to recuse yourself from the last one. So 2016-161 is the approval of the liquor license for Daytage Inc., which is ARDA, license number 1611-33-006-010. This is for effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
The second one is 2016-162. This is for Monahan Restaurant LLC, which is Prime 15, 1611-33-007-012. Again, this is for effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Next one is HP SG, that is, I want to say O'Hara's, but I know it's not. Is it Ringwood Discount Liquors now? Thank you. Effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, and that's license number 1611-44-004-006.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
You're dating yourself, Kelly.
I know, sorry. Next one is Reiku Sushi, license number 1611-33-001-008, effective again July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Next one is for MAP Inc., which is Old Forge. License 1611-32-003-005, again effective July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, the next one is for Skyline Lake Property Owners Association, license 1611-32-010-002, July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Sri Naran, which is Ringwood Wine and Liquors, license 1611-32-005-006, July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
And the last one is Erskine Lakes Volunteer Fire Company Number 1, license 1611-31-009-001.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you.
All the liquor licenses that are before the mayor, have to go before the mayor and council before they can approve. The clerk certifies everything, she gets all the information together, she gets the bond and the insurance certificates, make sure the background checks are done, and then the mayor and council votes to approve the liquor licenses for all the club licenses and the stores once a year.
You'll notice that Deputy Mayor Martucci didn't vote on the Skyline Lake Property Owners Association application because he's the president of that organization, so he has to recuse himself from that and can't vote on something that would impact an organization he's a member of. Only under certain circumstances does that not apply.
Okay.
Next is number 169.
169, yes. Resolution 2016-169, whereas a contract was awarded to Powell Pro Builders LLC on April 5th, 2016 for the construction of the new Borough Hall facade first floor window project, Borough Contract Number 2016-3 in the amount of $316,000. And whereas Land Associates has submitted and the Borough Engineer concurs with change order number 1 in the amount of $15,023.24 for additional work required to properly support the new building facade and the existing new CMU wall. And whereas the chief financial officers have certified funds are available, and whereas the borough engineer has submitted and recommends a partial payment in the amount of $192,298.87 for the work completed, now therefore be it resolved that the municipal council of the borough of Ringwood hereby approves change order number 1 in the amount of $15,023.24 and a partial payment in the amount of $192,298.87 to Pro Powell Builders of Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and be it further resolved that this payment be made subject to the receipt of the New Jersey monthly manning reports and the certified payroll records as required by the contract specifications.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Contract number 2016-170, I would like to carry to the next meeting as there's an objection to pricing or something, so the architect requested that we carry this. Do we need to do something for that, or just carry it, Kelly?
Motion just to carry.
Just a motion to carry, yeah.
I'll make a motion to
Second.
carry.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
I believe we're also carrying 171 to the next meeting, Mayor?
Correct.
Yes, that's that CDBG agreement with Passaic County for the next 3-year cycle. And we just want to do a little more research on what's required there of the borough before we, sign that agreement. So we'll carry that to our July meeting.
So moved to carry.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
2016-172, whereas a contract was awarded to Haskell Paving, Inc. for Cupsoa Drive Improvement Phases 4 and 5, contract number 2015-2 on July 14th, 2015, and whereas Swan Reed Halls Engineering has submitted and the borough engineer concurs with change order number 3 in the amount of $23,657.04 for the additional work required to make asphalt repairs. And whereas change order number 3 increases the contract by $23,657.04 to $582,209.24. and where Schwanawee Halls Engineering prepared estimate number 5 for the work performed by Haskell Paving from April 25th, 2016 through May 21st, 2016, and the Borough Engineer concurs with estimate number 5 in the amount of $23,183.90 for the work performed on the project. Whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified that funds are available for the amendment to the contract, now therefore be it resolved as the Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby approves change order number 3 in the amount of $23,657.04 and estimate number 5 in the amount of $23,183.90 to Haskell Paving, Inc., of Ringwood, New Jersey. Be it further resolved, this payment made subject to the New Jersey Monthly Manning reports, the certified payroll records, as required by contract specification. It should be noted that this is also money that we use. This is DOT money that pays for the Cupside Drive project. So all the projects that we have done along Cupside Drive is paid for by New Jersey DOT funds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson.
Yes.
Davison.
Yes.
Marsala.
Yep.
Noonan.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Mayor, that's all I have for resolutions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heck. Next order of business is consent agenda resolutions.
Okay. Sure. Whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Ringwood have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, and whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Ringwood is not desirous of removing any resolutions for individual action from that agenda, now therefore be it resolved, the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. 2016-173, approval of consent. 2016-174, approval of payroll and payroll transfers, May. 2016-175, authorized municipal lien assignment, Block 742, Lot 7. 2016-176, professional service pavement rehabilitation of Skyline Drive 792 water tank project, contract number 2015-102, in the amount of $10,023.42. 2016-177, professional service invoice, painting of the Victorian portion of the Borough Hall, contract number 2016-07-IN, in the amount of $3,693.30. 2016-178, professional service invoice, A&E services for the Borough Hall facade and first floor window project, Borough contract number 2016-3IN, in the amount of $2,400. 2016-179, appointment to the North Jersey Municipal Employee Benefit Fund. 2016-180, approval of voided checks. 2016-181, refund overpayment of property taxes, Block 929, Lot 98. And 2016-182, authorized redemption tax sale certificate various. We are going to be removing, so we'll need the motion to, as amended, to remove Resolution 2016-175 as that was satisfied today, that was redeemed, and 2016-179 as that is not an appointment of the council.
So moved as amended.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yep.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
179, the commission funding.
Pardon me?
What is that?
That's our health care fund. We have a regular insurance fund and we have a health care fund. Both of those are appointments by the manager, and I've appointed Kelly to go to the health care.
Okay, next order of business is the manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have quite a few things to go through this evening. The last couple of meetings we've dedicated to other items. But before I get into some of those things, just for information for the public as well as the council members, groundwater samples for the Superfund site, you know, we decided that we took split samples once before when Ford was going to be doing their groundwater sampling. We asked for some more samples to be done on some wells that they weren't going to do in this sampling plan, which we've done, and we also took split samples. So we took samples as well at the same time they are, and we sent them to a different lab. Samples were taken in the last 2 weeks, of May, beginning on May 19th. Preliminary data from both the Ford numbers and the Borough's number are still ongoing, and obviously the QA/QC validation, which is estimated to be done in the next couple of weeks. What they do is they get the raw data and then they qualify it with whatever process the labs go through to qualify the data, and that's supposed to be should take another 2 or 3 weeks. So we should have some more results for those things. There was also an inspection last Friday with the EPA, DEP, North Jersey District Water Supply, and Ford, which, to my amazement, the Borough of Ringwood was not advised of the meeting and did not attend. How you can have 3 agencies in town meeting with Ford Motor Company and not inviting the property owner is beyond me, but I thought I would advise it. Some of the residents are aware of it, anyway, that's what happened. I have a resolution this evening for your consideration. Resolution 2016. Kelly, do you have
183.
183. This came from our labor attorney. Be it resolved, Municipal Council of the Borough of Ringwood hereby as follows. Whereas the Borough of Ringwood versus the Board of Review for an employee at the Appellate Division reversed granting unemployment benefits to an individual. Whereas because of how the Ringwood contributes to the employee compensation, Ringwood may have partially paid unemployment compensation directly to this individual. And whereas if the unemployment benefits were reversed and therefore denied, the Department of Labor normally gives the employer a credit. And whereas in this situation, Ringwood may be entitled to more than the credit based upon the amount of money that was paid to this employee. Whereas it's the best interest of the Borough of Ringwood for its labor attorney to seek reimbursement from this individual, which could amount up to $17,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Ringwood labor attorney is authorizing to seek reimbursement for this individual if, in fact, after review of the Chief Financial Officer, Ringwood is entitled to a reimbursement from the employee. This employee, without mentioning any names, was on an extended leave, exhausted Family Medical Leave Act. After all that time had expired, her job was no longer available. We allowed all the time to expire and gave her some plenty of time to file the paperwork. She didn't do that. Ultimately was terminated. Applied for unemployment benefits. We appealed the unemployment benefits. We went to the Appellate Division, and she was granted unemployment benefits. We appealed that. The Appellate Division upheld the fact that she was not entitled to those benefits. And what the attorney would like to do is review the records a little further and get that money back.
So we didn't pay the employee?
Yes, we did, because we are self-insured. We don't have insurance like your company does. The Borough of Ringwood is self-insured for benefits, so we paid directly. So what the attorney's requesting is to seek reimbursement of the $17,000 that's owed to the borough.
Yes.
So that's Resolution 2016-187.
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Is it going to cost more than the 17 to get
Yeah, I
the
was gonna ask
17
that
back?
No, it's not going to cost more than the 17.
Yeah, watch out for those attorneys.
Yes.
No further discussion, we'll roll call, please.
Sure. Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, rehabilitation of Skyline Drive water storage tank. On Wednesday, June 8th, 2016, a pre-construction meeting was held for the tank. Both the contractors submitted the required paperwork. The painting contractor will be starting to perform the work that does not affect the water system at this point. The water service contractor will begin his work later during the summer to have temporary water service completed by the end of the summer. The Ringwood Water Department will begin emptying the water tank shortly by usage. We're not going to drain it. We're going to use it. We're just going to slowly stop filling it towards the end of the summer, so that after Labor Day holiday and after the painting contractor has begun all the exterior work, we can then take that tank out of service, have the temporary water supply company that's going to provide all the pressures and the water throughout town, so that we can get this thing painted during the winter months and get it back online. The Skyline Drive water tank is probably the most important tank in our water system. Holds approximately 1 million gallons, and it's in need of some exterior work and some interior work, much like we did with the Upper Ringwood tank. That was the first one that we rebuilt. You know, and when you have a water system, you have to upgrade these things and maintain them. Otherwise, you got to replace them. Replacing a water tank of this magnitude would be several $1 million. So painting it and restoring it is far more desirable. So they're going to start to do this through the winter. It's going to be draped. It's going to be heated in the winter if we need to paint inside, to try to get it online during the heavy volume times of the year, which is basically June through the end of August, mid-September, excuse me. So that's what's going on with the Skyline Drive tank. You guys have all seen the Borough Hall facade and the window replacement here. The siding's going to be started in about 2 weeks. Most of the facades have been replaced. The roof has been repaired so that the leaks have stopped, which we're happy to see. We can start replacing some of these tiles throughout the building. Cupsaw Drive Improvement Project Phases 4 and 5. Ringwood received the asphalt tests. We talked about this earlier, and they were satisfactory for final payment. As soon as the DOT performs their final inspection, the contractor's retainage will be released. The contractor milled and paved some other areas on Skyline Drive from West Circle to Carrollton Road where there was excessive wear. It's going to take us 2 or 3 more rounds to get Cupsaw Drive complete with the DOT funding that's in place. I really didn't feel it was appropriate to not do something on a major scale with the remaining of the road, but I also didn't want to put a cap over it because we're going to dig it up. We're putting drainage in all the way around the lake. There's some areas where we have some difficult drainage access with no easements and things, so we're working through that right now. So we went through and we milled large sections of the road, patched it so that the road was in better shape for the residents that live there. So hopefully we can get that project designed and get that completed. We're going to start to do some of the drainage ourselves to leave some of the extra money for trying to get asphalt further. We received bids. We held one off before on the painting and the work that's going to be done on the old building. That's going to be back before you next month after the architects work out whatever challenges there might be to that. Our stormwater cleaning. Every year the borough has entered in the last couple of years a rather aggressive stormwater management plan. We clean all the catch basins and the pipes throughout the town. We do that because it keeps our lakes cleaner. We take the silt out of all the catch basins because all that silt gets into the mouths of the lakes and creates sandbars and creates havoc with some of the fish and wildlife. So our program, we've completed Cupsaw at this point. We're working our way through Erskine. We should be able to complete that before the season's out. We have 3 guys dedicated to just doing stormwater management at this point. Along those lines, we also have a shared service contract with Pompton Lakes for cleaning some of their drains. They don't have a Vector truck like we have. We send our guys down there for 2 weeks at a 2-week period, 1 week at a time for 2 weeks. I'm sorry. And Pompton will pay the Borough of Ringwood $13,000 for that service. So that's just another revenue that we bring into the town. We've received a lot of emails and people complete work order problems. We have a reporter problem on our website. It's very effective. You report a problem, a work order gets issued. There's some tracking that gets followed that immediately gets followed that way, so we can track it. It's a much more effective way for the public to communicate with us and tell us some of the problems that they're having with roads or signs or whatever. So I would encourage anybody. We've completed many work orders for drainage and filling potholes, constructing berms, and so forth. So if you have a problem, don't hesitate to use the website. You can do that whether we're here or not. You go to ringwoodnj.net, report a problem, and just go through there and fill out the problem that you're having, and name a number where we can contact you so that if we have any questions, we can do that. And it kind of expedites the repair process. We have a lot of stuff going on with rec. They're preparing for the fall season. They're going to have football ages 1 through 8. They're going to have flag football for kindergartners, soccer, little dribblers for ages 3 to 5, youth tennis, ice hockey, cheerleading. The fall's newsletter will be on the Borough website, also on their Facebook page, and it's on Channel 77. They're also going to continue to send stuff out through Board of Education, but that's not until they get back into session. Summer camps are going to be starting cheerleading, speed and agility, baseball, multi-sport, multiple tennis camps for all ages from youth to high school. This year, again, we're going to have the Junior Police Academy, which was a huge success last year. It's going to be on August 8th and will run through August 11th. This year we have 80 kids registered for that program, and this year we're doing it in conjunction with the Ringwood and Wanacue kids. Ringwood Police and Wanacue Police are going to join us to bring that program forward. It was a great program last year, and it's something that is very popular, and we're pretty proud of that program. This Saturday we're having Rutgers safety courses here at Borough Hall. And they're doing that if you're interested in being a volunteer, because we're having a Special Olympics program that they're going to do this summer, and continuing out throughout the year. And our rec director is having a class just for anybody who wants to. It's a little different class, I think, for the Special Olympics. So he's going to be teaching that here on Saturday. If anybody wants to be a volunteer or a coach for Special Olympics and they need Rutgers certification, by all means go to Community Pass. And he's going to keep it open until Friday for anybody who's interested. Saturday, August 13th, they're also having a coaches class from 9 until 12:30, so you can register online. I'm not going to read all of this, but they have summer consignment tickets for all kinds of things: Six Flags, Dorney Park, Diggerland, Crayola Experience, Action Park, Steel Piers, Hershey Parks, all kinds of things. Just either go on the website for the rec department or call them. Along the lines of recreation, we have submitted another grant application, Kelly and myself, for $600,000 for Passaic County Open Space for the completion of the turf field. We gave a presentation on June 8th to the Open Space Committee at Passaic County. We believe it went well, and we're hoping that this year's grant money will allow us to fully fund the project. We're in the process of scheduling our DEP meeting to attain the permits and things necessary, and then we're going to go before the Board of Education again to show them what the final plans would look like for their consideration. Some additional revenues this year. We look everywhere we can to try and bring in some extra money. We received a check for $48,750 from our insurance company for the damage done to Kensington Wood Pump Station. Anytime we have damage or a catastrophic event, we used to just pay for it. The last couple of years, I've been submitting stuff to insurance to try and see what insurance we have for all of these things, and Kelly's been very helpful with us with the insurance. She just took over insurance this year. So the pump station was eligible for $49,000 approximately to cover some of the expenses from a pipe that burst in there, I think last fall. We also received $15,831. We did a shared service with the Board of Education. They needed to get rid of their wells. They needed someone to tie in the water system. We have a water department that can put in water. So we did the work for the Board of Education, saved them money, and it was a revenue for us. We also received a check in the amount of $30,000 from Van Orden Sand and Gravel in accordance with the final judgment from the court, which Mr. Klimak went through at the last meeting. And we were also able to finally settle with our insurance company from Hurricane Sandy. We filed all the FEMA money, and there was a section of the money that said we weren't eligible for about $119,000. I think it was 126 actually, but 119 of it was reimbursed by insurance. Once FEMA told me that they wouldn't cover it because they thought there was insurance coverage, we went through the arduous process over the last couple of years of trying to get the insurance company to actually pay what FEMA said. And my argument was, FEMA says that it's insurance covered, and insurance company says it's FEMA covered. One of you have to pay. So finally, we received that money for $119,000 for damages, and that's the balance of the FEMA. I think we're pretty much closed out at this point. So
What was the total amount you got from FEMA, approximately, between all, was it
there
well
were
over a million, wasn't it?
it was several million. I think it was about almost $4 million when you count both storms. So, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe if you count both storms, that's what it was. That would also include this $119,000. Moving on to budget. The general budget for 2016 is $15,845,643.69. So far to date, we've encumbered or paid $7,094,875. We've used approximately 44.77% of the budget. We have approximately $1.5 million encumbered still. If you track along the expenses, use payroll as a gauge, we should be at approximately 42.6% of the budget used. And payroll is a good gauge because every other week you pay. So if you use it as a gauge, as we've done in the past, it shows that we're slightly under where we thought we would be for our expenses, and our revenues are slightly up. Our water budget is also in good shape. It's approximately at 44.1%, and so they use the same figure. So we're on target for our expenses, and our revenues are up slightly. A few things that I'm going to be talking about going forward is probably in our next meeting would be we're going to talk about some right-of-way issues and some ordinances that maybe we can deal with, and also our towing ordinance is in desperate need of some renovation and updating. We haven't done that in many years, and so we have to look at that. So those are two things that we're going to be doing probably in July. Questions? Thank you.
Well, I didn't hear what you said, the last thing that we're doing in July.
I'm probably going to have some recommendations for you in July for a right-of-way, talking about some different right-of-way issues that we have for ordinances, as well as a towing ordinance.
I'd like to look at some ordinances that affect our businesses and see There's some that have been in existence for a long time, and I'd like to just take a review, maybe set up a committee to review them.
Sure, that would be the mayor. Mayor, we could do that.
Councilman Noonan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anderson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor. Committee. Okay?
I guess that's that.
We meet on July 19th.
Okay.
Hold on, Anderson, let me write that down.
Councilwoman Anderson?
Yep,
Councilman
Noonan.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Matucci, okay.
In particular, sign ordinance.
Ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mayor, if you plan to be a member of that committee, we can only have 3 meetings.
I so don't plan on being a
Okay.
member of that committee.
Okay.
I've looked at these things like 3 times, and on the
right.
planning board, it stutters and halts. And I think we have to get something out there, especially in the way of temporary signage. I think we're very sorely lacking in that in our current sign ordinance. So we have to get something that's enforceable, some kind of rules, guidelines, and then we can go.
Mr. Klimek, I'll make sure that there's never a quorum present. I have one more resolution, it looks like in my book, Kel.
Yep, 184.
184. This is in blue at your spots. This is a resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for an architectural design
Can we hold-
consultation.
Scott, can we hold that? I'd like to discuss this in executive session under
Sure.
litigation.
Okay. Yep. So you're you can just hold it until after executive session?
Yes.
Okay. The only thing that I have for executive session then, Mayor, would be EPA and Ford. I guess Upper Ringwood is what we usually list it as.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Heck. Attorney's report?
Yes, I would like to, an executive session matter, this would be in the matter of the Borough of Ringwood, which is affordable housing litigation, declaratory judgment of Passaic County. I would like to go into executive session to discuss that. I can recite a resolution, if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Resolved that municipal council enter into executive session to discuss the matter in the matter of the Borough of Ringwood declaratory judgment action pertinent to affordable housing in the county of Passaic. Be it further resolved that minutes of the meeting be maintained and be available for public inspection upon conclusion of the matter. The subject matter to be discussed, in addition to generally discussing the status of litigation, we'll also discuss the proposed contract that Mr. Heck referred to with the Montero Group, and an amendment to the proposed contract with the consortium of municipalities in the litigation. This is a consortium of Ringwood and approximately 200 other municipalities who have entered into a municipal shared services defense agreement. The public is advised that when the American Council returns from the, we're also going to be doing the EPA Upper Ringwood Ford matters as discussed, as mentioned by the manager. The public is advised that when the municipal council returns from the executive session, may take formal action on any matter discussed therein, or may take formal action on any other matter.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Spear?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci?
Yes.
Councilmembers Anderson?
Yes.
Davison?
Yes.
Marsala?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Klimek. Mayor and members of council. Councilwoman Schaefer.
I just have 2 things. Last Saturday was the opening of the new Weiss Ecology Center, and I have to say kudos to John Berry and the committee that did a great job of getting things started. It's going to be a lot of work, but, you know, they're there. They took on a big undertaking, and I think they're gung-ho to do it, and last week they had tours. They showed you the buildings. They had reptiles, which I didn't go see because I don't like snakes. But there's a number of different things going up there, and I think it'll be great once it, you know, they have a lot of volunteers, and it looks like a great thing that we'll have back again in Ringwood. The other thing is school's out. Children are riding their bikes. People are walking along the lake roads. Please go slowly. Please adhere to the speed limits. And maybe we need some more police presence around the lakes at certain times because nobody goes 25 miles an hour. Thanks.
I was just going to speak of the speed limits around the lake.
Yes,
Enjoy
Councilman
your
Noonan.
summer. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Marsala.
Progress.
Thank you. Councilman Davison.
No report, except the knees are doing better.
Good to hear. Here. Councilwoman.
Yeah, just to also comment on Weiss Ecology Center. If anyone has never been over there, it's the other end of the borough in the Stonetown section. It's up Snake Den Road. It's awesome. I would recommend everyone go check it out. Marked trails, a freshwater pool, that's spring-fed. Just a great place to picnic, the good old-fashioned family fun. It's really a neat place to go. So I would highly recommend everyone check it out. And yes, just drive safely, please. Obey the speed limit signs. Thank you. Have a great summer.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yeah, just a couple of things. I want to echo the sentiment on the Weiss Ecology Center. You had a bunch of people work against unsurmountable odds, and I mean, a couple of times we were at some of the meetings and we really didn't know where they were going to get the money, how they were going to do it, and I really think it's a great thing. It shows when people act together what can be accomplished. As when I was raised in my family, I went there many times. We did maple sugaring. We did many things there. We did stuff with the Boy Scouts. And so there's a lot of people that were involved, and they really deserve a lot of credit. I'm also going to I'm going to talk about speeding in general. I happen to live on Skyline Lakes. People are walking, kids are out there. The Ringwood PD has put out the signs, they've put out speed traps. If you go into CVS, if you go into former Krause's, if you have to run to Stop and Shop, 24 miles an hour, you still get there. There is no reason why you have to be speeding, smoking at the same time, and in one case, speeding, smoking, and listening to the cell phone. This is crazy, okay? I had a complaint from a Ringwood resident the other night. His wife almost got hit by a car. I'm going to address it with Scott and the chief, but it's still happening. I mean, it's a common sense thing. I mean, common courtesy. It happens on Ringwood Green Lake Turnpike. Just coming, multiple times coming to a council meeting. I'm doing between 45 and 50. I got somebody tailgate me. We're Ringwood residents. You're doing it to other people. So I'm not sure what the answer is. I mean, what is the emergency of people speeding? And when I mean speeding, I don't mean like 26, 27. I mean 30, 40, 35, 40 miles an hour just going and not really paying attention because wherever they're going must be the most important thing in the world. Okay, but sooner or later, we're going to have a catastrophe, and it's up to us. I mean, it blows my mind. So the other thing I just, again, for people who live around the lake, be careful swimming. Know where your kids are doing. Okay, if you're in the pool, backyard pool, you got little kids, keep an eye on them. All right, it takes 1 second and somebody could drown. So that's all I got.
Deputy Mayor, I've ordered some more traffic calming measures. We're going to try a couple different things. Chief and I met about some of the lakes. It's worse in a lot of the lake areas. So we're working on some other traffic calming measures to try and slow the people down, especially around the beaches and the areas where people are walking.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We'll now go into executive session.